This time we'll be going over how to improve your script's consistency to make sure that it can run even without your involvement. For example, you might want to run your scripts overnight while you're asleep or when you're away from home, whatever. So, we're going to use this grinding script for Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. And to start, we'll explain a few things that might make your scripts inconsistent, especially if you're working with a 3D game like Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep where you have control of a camera that can move all over the place and affects the way you're moving game. So, games have what are known as input frames, lag frames, and render frames, and probably even other types of frames. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on that. In AutoHotKey, we have this function called setKeyDelay. This instantly adds a 30 millisecond delay to your key presses. For example, if a game is running at 30 frames per second, that means that every 30th of a second is a new frame, which means it might be an input frame, it might be a render frame, a lag frame, whatever. And if your key isn't being held on an input frame, then it won't be registered. So if this were set to 0 and your key only lasted 1 frame and it happened to not be an input frame, then it won't get registered, which is why we have this set to 30 so that it at least hits some kind of frame. Usually that'll be, an input frame because this is being held for a bit. However, it could also be hitting multiple input frames, which means your character might move more than you expect, or even less than you expect, depending on how the function runs, which can make things hard to deal with. For example, if we go back to the Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, as you might have noticed when you saw that, even though I pressed A 3 times, 1, 2, 3, I didn't end up perfectly aligned with the center of this arena here. You can go back out, come back in, press A 3 times, and here you'll see now I'm to the right of it. So that might affect your ability to restart. Luckily here, if we turn the camera around, you'll see that the door I'm trying to exit through is actually quite big, which leaves a lot of room for error. But, of course, you never know what might happen. Let's say, for example, your script, you accidentally hit way too many. Then if you come down and attack the enemies, the enemies didn't actually load this time. But then if you head back out, you might actually miss the door. Okay, you didn't miss the door this time. But, it'll always happen. Camera might get moved because of the enemies, and you come and you hit this wall. Whoops, now you're stuck. You're not going to be able to get out of the room. And so, we have ways to deal with that. And the two ways that I saw that you might get stuck is 1, you get stuck in this corner over here, or 2, you might get stuck up against this wall right here. And so, we want to be able to deal with that to make sure our script can run without our input. And so, we're going to come to the code and we're going to learn how to do that. So right here, so one thing I really like to do is make sure I have a pixel search to make sure that I'm at the screen where I believe I am. As you'll notice here, we use the pixel search for these pipes in the background. These pipes right here. Because these pipes do not show in this reactor room. As you can see, we can come here and there's no pipes right here. There's nothing yellow here at all. So this is very guaranteed that if we see anything yellow right here, that we're on this screen right here. And so that's good. So, go back to the code. So yes, here, we make sure that we've actually left the room. But if we haven't left the room, that means something failed. So here we have our fail count. And right now it's just saying if we failed even once, then just completely stop the script. So we want to fix that. We want to change that, make this a little more robust, make it more consistent. So I found specifically 2 scenarios that'll help us fix our code, make it more consistent. So we're going to set this fail count to be greater than 2. If it's greater than 2, then we break, because then something way messed up and we don't know how to fix it. So if it's less than 2, then we're going to try and fix this. Attempt, fix. We're going to pass in fail count because there are 2 different ways to fix it. Alright, so up here we're going to define this attempt fix function. You can copy this basic restart function that isn't applicable for this script. And we're going to pass in this attempt count. Alright, so in here we're going to say, make sure I'm, this is wrong. If attempt count is 1, this is the first time we're trying to fix. Now here, as what I've found as a fix is that if we get stuck over here in this corner, we can just press D and that'll get us out. If we get stuck in this spot, then we can just press A and D and whatever. Mess those up. But no, I wait. Okay, sorry. Here, we get stuck here, we can just press D and that'll take us out. If we get stuck over here, you get stuck like this. Camera's not wanting to cooperate with me. Alright, you get stuck over here like this. And from here, you can just press A and hold A and you'll eventually escape. Oh, it took a while. Alright. So our first attempt, then, sorry, one more thing about this that mattered. If we get stuck in this corner over here, then it doesn't matter how many times we press D or how long we hold D, we're never going to leave this corner. Which means that if we're stuck here, we can always press D and always escape. But if we press A from here, then we're just going to make things worse on ourselves. So the easiest solution is to assume we're stuck here and press D. Press and hold D to try and escape. Or assume we're in the corner rather than at that wall. So I'm going to come down here and copy this a little bit. And again, we're going to pretend that we're at that wall and we'll pretend that D is an acceptable escape. Because even if we're in the corner, it's not going to mess anything up. But then, if that doesn't fix it, then we're going to assume we're in the corner and we're going to send A. We're going to move to the left. Alright. And here, this sleep function down here is just for the loading screen. Alright. So here, fix it if we're stuck on the wall to the left of the entrance. Here, fix it if we're stuck in the corner. And again, if we're in the corner, pressing right first, D right first, whatever, won't matter. So now, come back down here, our attempt to fix, fail count. We fail the first time, we attempt to move right. If we fail the second time, we attempt to move left. Alright, assuming everything works, this should be great. Now, one thing I do want to fix is that if we run this right now and it fails twice, then the next time it ever gets stuck, it would just instantly say fail count is 3 and it'd break. So here, we're going to grab this fail count, set it to 0, and add this after our check. So now, if we fail and we're able to resolve the failure and escape the room, then we'll retry. Then we'll set our fail count back to 0 so we can attempt to fix again. And there we go. This should hopefully make this script a lot more consistent. And as you can see, it's very easy to just add little if statements and other little methods that run conditionally to try and fix any errors that might pop up. And there you go. That's how you can make your scripts more consistent.